Hey guys, Carlo here from HWFCI.com. Just here to give you a fall update, sort of let you know what I've been up to this summer. Things just really busy during the summertime, so it's hard to get updates and that sort of thing out. I got this video update kind of split up into a few different sections, just to give you shout outs or other things of interest. So without further ado, here we go. I've decided to do a couple of different things for communication for you guys that are a bit easier for me, not able to have high-speed internet at my current home. I've used two different websites, blogspot or Blogger, and of course Twitter. I'm kind of using those two for a couple of different purposes. Blogger in of itself, I'm using not so much to write my thoughts or that sort of thing, but to give you guys a lot of different updates for the website, frequently asked questions, and I'll also be using it for the bulk of the video description for most of my update videos and that sort of thing. I'll also use content for just really obscure data, obscure references, things that don't necessarily fit on one particular area of the website. I kind of try to have things categorized, to make it easiest on the website for most people to go through and find information, but there may also be some pretty cool, tidbits of information on the Blogger account. I know I have some up there now for commercial foam cutting equipment. There's other ones up there for hot wire foam cutting wire and other things like that. So the link below is going to be for the Blogger account, but be sure to go there and check it out, because I have all the other links for any other shout outs that I do, any of the websites of interest that I might be mentioning. Certainly subscribe if you'd like, but the link is also available on the website under the news and updates tab. Twitter, of course, only allowing so many characters per tweet. I use the Twitter account to have just a really quick, brief update, sort of like just posted a new blog or just posted a new video, new information uploaded to the website, new designs, or so on and so forth. So for those that don't want to subscribe to the blog account, you can certainly subscribe to the Twitter account, only because that'll give you just a real quick, brief news update, kind of a newsreel for the website itself. So check that out. It's at Let's Cut Foam for Twitter. So don't be afraid to subscribe. And like I said, I'll be keeping the tweets pretty much specific to the website. Within about the last 2 months, I've been diligently working to basically finish up the design portions and the video portions of the website. Still got a lot of videos to record yet, only because I still had to design some of the cutters and so on and so forth. But if you guys do go over to the design section of the website, you'll see that I basically renamed all the cutters into basically large, medium, and small. There's a variety of different type of tabletop cutters now, and handheld cutters. And you guys can use them for a variety of reasons. I would actually, for a lot of the hobbyists, I would recommend going with one of the smaller style cutters, only because really that's what the majority of us need. The medium and the large scale would be, I don't know, maybe for someone doing larger terrain projects and that type of thing. But for hobby, you can get away with just the smaller cutters. But be sure to check out. I do have brand new PDFs on all of the design pages. If you guys watch the videos and look at the PDFs, you should be able to make all these cutters without a problem. So be sure to check those out. Those turned out really well, and I'm pretty happy with them. But be sure to check out the calculations tab too. I do have a lot of different descriptions, and I describe a lot of the calculations a little bit more in depth for those who require it. But I also have a whole brand new section on the electrical circuitry and resistors, only because a lot of different projects that people do as a custom build project, require resistors and so on and so forth. But for the majority of the small handheld cutters, you know, that I have designs for, basic power supply should be able to get you by on that. By no means a cell phone charger. Check out the calculations tab too. There's a lot of new things on there. Some old things, but you know, maybe explained in a new way. Many of you may know what this stuff is. It's great stuff, expanding foam, and the reason why I bring it up is I know that in particular regions of the world, or particular, you know, portions of the country too, you know, warmer climates, that type of thing, you may not be able to acquire 2.5 or 3-inch extruded polystyrene for foam making. And it does become kind of a pain in the butt to just keep stacking up layers of 1-inch foam. So I kind of have this big, long, you know, piece of this spray foam, pretty much for the sole purpose of running tests on, just to figure out kind of what heating requirements are going to be required to kind of burn through this stuff. Only because I think that this would be a good, cheap alternative for a lot of hobbyists. That, you know, I mean, if this stuff is easy to sculpt, I mean, you can easily make, you know, shoot, you know, 3, 4, 12-foot hill for that matter, and then just carve it as you need to. So I have to thank Mauricio from Ibiza, Spain. He was the one that sort of turned me over to trying to run tests on this and try to figure it out. You know, only because, again, it does come a little bit easier for people to find the spray foam than anything else. So stay tuned on that. A new website I found within the last couple of months, a gentleman that goes by Loden is with moddevelopers.com. They have some really cool terrain pieces, but their shop is not yet open. So be sure to check them out, bookmark them, but I do have their link available on the affiliates page as well. The next shout out is for Dave Graffam at davesgames.net. Now, many of you may already know davesgames.net, but he has a whole different genre of terrain making. He has complete printable PDFs, you know, for download and purchase, that have very detailed, you know, portions, windows, siding, you know, buildings, anything and everything that you can imagine. But I wanted to mention it only because for some of you that may not be good at painting, you know, or have a lot of money to put into, you know, different types of roofing and so on and so forth. But if you end up actually cutting foam, or foam board for that matter, but certainly extruded, or, you know, polystyrene, is you can even glue some of these textures onto the front of the buildings. So that way it gives it a little bit more, you know, sturdy bulk than just the paper, just cardstock, or, you know, just foam board. But check out Dave's Games. There's a lot of stuff there. Dave does tell me that he's in the process of updating his website too, so it's probably going to become a little bit easier to kind of go through in the future, but check that out. The next shot is for Brandon over at customrcwings.com. Brandon, actually, for those of you that have kind of cruised the website, Brandon actually created all the content for the CNC hot wire foam cutting machine that I have listed on the website. Definitely check out his website. For any of you that are looking for RC wings, Brandon has everything. I mean, he can cut any wing at any dimension that you require with any pitch and taper, you know, or what have you. But check him out, and you know, they do have, you know, preformed wings to sell, but also anyone's custom length that you may desire. So be sure to check him out, and he has a really cool machine that he set up there. The next shout is for my buddy Tim McCohen over at jlminiatures.com. You know, up to this point, you know, at least within the miniature community, you guys may have seen his videos on modifications and green stuffing and painting, you know, and custom models. I mean, bases, anything that you can imagine from a hobby perspective. Right now, he's making the transition from jl-miniatures.com over to jlminiatures.com. Tim does do a really good job with modifying models, so if you guys are looking for a couple of really cool custom pieces, check him out. He also does have full armies for sale too. And he is also beginning to contract for painting and other things of that nature. So check him out, and check out his channel too on YouTube. And last but certainly not least, among the miniature community, General Splatton is in the process of also starting a channel and just kind of small-time business for miniature modification and painting. He's making the transition from on the business side from General Splatton over to Splatton Studios on his YouTube channel. He still will have the General Splatton channel, but check out if you want. He has really good painting techniques. Sometimes he'll do a review on paints, and he shows how to do different techniques and so on and so forth. So be sure to subscribe to both of his channels at General Splatton and Splatton Studios. So for those who are watching the video as just an update for HWFCI.com, you can probably definitely stop the video now. So thank you for tuning on in. And be sure to check out the blog site's website only for continued updates here in the future. Also, it will have all the information on the video description. But for the second half of this video, I just want to touch base real quick with the kind of teaser idea that I've been having over the last couple of months, just about the terrain website. Thanks again for those of you that come in and check out the video. Stay tuned, we got plenty of stuff on the way, and be sure to go check out all the new content on the website. It turned out fairly well. So take it easy, and we'll catch you all next time. So for those of you that stuck around, you probably just want to hear a little bit more about the terrain website that I'm in the process of sort of developing. These websites, there's a lot of groundwork that has to go in really before they are made. So I do appreciate a lot of you that have gotten a hold of me regarding the terrain website, but we're kind of, let's start fresh. Is again, one of the things that I anticipate doing is creating a terrain website for the hobbyist that is very similar to HotWireFoamCutterInfo.com. So basically what I did for hot wire foam cutting, I would also like to do for miniature scale terrain. There's going to be a lot of user submitted content. So if you guys obviously know the Kamloopian, he had on his terrain, GameTerrain.info, he kind of started to set up Wikia where people could submit content and so on and so forth, but pretty much once that failed out as a result of either getting hacked or viruses on it or whatever the hell happened, ultimately it's just not possible. I mean, it did break the Kamloopian, I'm sure. Just very surprised that somebody would even do that to him. But the big thing is I think that there are people within the community that are interested in submitting information for how to create terrain and so on and so forth. But we have not yet found a common area to sort of, aggregate or, come together on kind of these ideas. So what I'm looking for is, yes, there will be written content. So again, there's going to be areas on, okay, trees. Okay, here's all the different ways that you can make trees. But then there's also going to be a video portion of it too, where people do demos on how to create them or, so on and so forth. So there will be the two parts to it. So I'll be looking for people that are interested in both making videos and those that are just interested in submitting content, figure pictures, or manufacturers of the different products, that we can use either in the, the UK and the United States. But anyone who's interested, I need you to email me. I don't want any contact from people through YouTube. The YouTube mail system is so antiquated, it drives me insane. So I want you to send an email to info@HotWireFoamCutterInfo.com letting me know that you're interested in somehow being a part of the process. Now again, it's probably going to be another year. I'm going to try to work on it through this winter. It's going to be another year really before we start getting videos on it and so on and so forth. But I need to know who wants. And hey, if you just say, all right, I'm going to, I'll submit something or I'll write you something perfect. Terragenesis, website again through the UK does have some information like that already, but I kind of want to take from there and go the next step forward. I have contacted the Kamloopian, Steve, and hopefully we can work something out between he and I on a common interest on kind of getting this ball rolling. He does have a lot of really, really good techniques, so hopefully we can get him back into it. There will be people already right now, like Terrain Noob and Terrainaholic, all the different people that have either websites, stores, or YouTube channels already established. And those will be people that I'll be contacting directly to see if maybe we can work something out in the future too. But on the website, there may not necessarily be a store section for you guys to purchase terrain at least not in the beginning. But what I'm going to do is probably link to these other people's eBay pages or websites, or however it is that they sell their foam product, and that way it's kind of a little bit of an advertisement too, where if you want terrain, go check these people out. So that's going to be part of it too. The big thing that I want to do with the new terrain website is basically be the moderator. Not so much that I have like a control complex or anything like that, but seeing what happened with the Kamloopians website, where really unfortunately we can't have people govern themselves, is that I think that if we have a website, people can submit content. I'll make sure that it all fits together nicely and it's all organized and that sort of thing. Certainly we'll give credit where credit is due for those who do submit the content. Make sure that there's information on how to contact these people if that even applies. But my goal is more to sort of be the head of this particular website, not terrain making in general, but just with this one website. And see what I can try to put together, for people, and really be, a service not only with the foam cutting website, but also with the ability to make hobby terrain, because ultimately that's what you need a foam cutter for. I feel like you can't have one part without the other. I do know though there are other good websites out there, Beasts of War and Mini Wargaming. They have a lot of really, really good user submitted content on projects and so on and so forth. One of the problems that I think I found with Mini Wargaming is that there's literally so much information on their website regarding everything that it's almost difficult to find. It's almost too hard to find, all right, how do I just make terrains, or, how do I make trees, or how do I make hills, or, how do I make buildings, those types of things. I think that the step-to-step process has sort of been lost on that website, but still both of them are very, very good reference websites and have a ton of information. So again, I hate to keep teasing you guys with this idea, but I want you to know that I haven't forgotten about doing a terrain website. It takes a little bit longer to really get all the pieces put together, and I've also been kind of working diligently to get the Hotwire foam cutting website completely done, so we'll kind of see how that goes, and hopefully I'll be done with that in the near future. But hopefully getting into 2012 I'll have the Hotwire foam cut website completely done, and I'll be able to transition over to the game terrain website. So we'll just have to be in touch. And again, guys, don't forget to email me, through info@hotwirefoamcutterinfo.com. Also in that email, tell me what you guys think you're particularly good at, what you have interest in. I'm kind of looking for a very professional feel. So again, guys, we'll be in touch, and take care.